Next up, camera number 2, we have the Nikon D80, another Nikon camera. So this camera, you can already see it's pretty beefy in the hand. It's a lot beefier than the D3100, and it's actually because Nikon's D80 or D70, I don't know what we call their D series with just, you know, a double-digit number. I don't know how to really separate them, but this series is a more professional series than the D3000 series or D5000 series, the D with 3 digits after it. So this is a more professional camera. However, this was released earlier than the D3100, so it's an older camera. It was actually released in 2006. So this is technically in a higher end line than the D3100 is. However, it's older than the D3100, so it's gonna have some specs being worse, some specs maybe being better than the D3100. Of course, the build quality and feel in the hand is much better than the D3100. But let's just get into the specs of this real quick. So the D80 shoots 10 megapixel RAW photos, so less megapixels than the D3100. This has an APS-C sized CCD sensor, which is different than a CMOS sensor. I'll let you look into that on your own, but a lot of people really like CCD sensors and say they render colors better and look more natural than CMOS sensors. And this also has a 1.5 times crop factor, so the same crop sensor as the D3100. And then it also has Nikon's F mount, which is again the same lens mount as the D3100, so it takes pretty much any Nikon lens. This camera, however, has a 2.5-inch LCD screen in the back, so it is a ½ inch smaller than the D3100 and even worse quality. Again, you can use it for checking your framing after taking your photos, but it's not really good for checking your exposure on your photos or focus or anything like that. You're probably just gonna need to wait until you get them onto your computer to really look into all that stuff. This camera also shoots up to 3 photos per second in its burst rate mode. However, the D80 does not record any type of video, not even 480p, not even 144p. It does not record a video at all. So if you do need video, this literally is not an option for you. However, it does have a built-in flash like the D3100 and of course a hot shoe on the top as well. And this camera comes in at 668 grams. So not substantially, but definitely heavier than the D3100. And I've already said this a few times, but the build quality of this is much nicer. Obviously it's heavier, it has a deeper grip, it's taller, so more of your fingers fit on this without, you know, dangling on the bottom there. And most of everything else about this is very similar to the D3100. Pretty much the buttons are in similar placements. This does have a little screen on top to show some of your settings. Most stuff in the back is about the same. Battery slot in the bottom, SD card slot in the side. Pretty similar to the D3100, and the experience with shooting with this and the photo quality that comes out of this is also, in my opinion, with my eyes, pretty similar to the D3100 as well. And because of that, I've actually enjoyed using the D80 more than the D3100, just because it feels so much nicer in the hand. It's better build quality, and the image quality really isn't super different coming out of them. Obviously, the D3100 has high resolution, 40% more resolution actually with your images, but personally from just using both of these cameras, I do enjoy the D80 a little bit more. But that wraps this video up. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.